Good morning. Hi. Happy Saturday. How is everyone? It's a glorious Saturday. The humidity is low. It's wonderful. I don't mind the heat if the humidity's low. Goodness gracious, you know what I'm saying? That humidity just makes it to where you can't breathe. You don't even want to go outside because you just start sweating from places that you didn't even know. Sweated. Whatever. Words. Me. We don't get along, okay? Okay. So I relived a moment yesterday, okay? No, I mean, I didn't relive a moment. Okay, so many years ago, we lived on this street. Ooh, look at these blueberries. Ooh. They're not mine, they're my boss's. Mine haven't plumped up yet. So we lived here, and then there was a couple of houses, and then there was this little cul-de-sac. Well, Johnny lived on the cul-de-sac, so maybe 4 houses away-ish. Johnny was my sister's best friend. Johnny is a girl. Her dad's name was John, so she's Johnny. Anyway, she may even watch this, because I know she has watched my videos before. And my mom and Johnny and Jenny, all of us really, used to laugh at this story. Because I've told y'all that my mom did not handle emergencies very well. If there was blood involved, my mom was out. I'm surprised when I got bitten in the face by the dog right there. Well, actually it was down here, but as I've aged, it grew up, you know. I'm surprised she had the sense. I think my sister is what got me to the hospital. My mom just drove. So I was 7. My sister would have been about 16 or 17. And she grabbed a washcloth and put it on my face and held me all the way to the hospital to get stitches, right? Anyway, my mom just panicked, okay? Johnny was at the house one day and she stepped on something or did something. Anyway, she sliced her foot open. So my mom panicked and was like, you gotta go home. You've got to go home. I don't know if they wrapped it. My sister and Johnny wrapped it or something. I don't know what happened. I just know my mom and Johnny and Jenny used to laugh about it all the time because my mom was like, I felt so bad afterwards because she's bleeding and I just sent her home. I was like, you got to go home. Well, that kind of happened yesterday with me-ish, but I'll be right back. All right, and let me preface this by saying that she's okay. And I'm not freaked out by blood, but this has been very cringy for me since it happened, okay? I don't remember how it happened. I want to say it involved cooking or something, but Phoenix, on the very front of her ankle, right there at the top of her foot where her foot bends with her ankle, she had a burn. And it was probably as big around as maybe a nickel-ish. Come on. Every time she comes over, I'm getting on to her. Don't scratch it, don't scratch it, don't scratch it. You can gently scratch around it, but don't scratch the spot. Please stand by. All right, so we have one of those newfangled gyms at the front of the neighborhood, you know, I forgot what they're called, where they do all that crazy tire throwing and stuff. Well, sometimes those people who go to that gym will run through the neighborhood and they're carrying these big heavy medicine balls and all that stuff. Well, a truck was driving so very slow that he was almost going backwards. I was like, why are you driving so slow? Penelope is trying to protect me. She wants to run out in front of the car. And then the man with the big medicine ball, she wanted to attack him. All the loud barking. The girls came running outside. It turned into a whole fiasco, okay? But now I'm home, and the girls are home, and I told them I had a lot of cleaning to do today, which I do. And all is quiet again. But back to Phoenix's boo-boo. I mean, it was probably like that big on the front of her foot, like I said. And last night, it didn't come to me until after it all happened. But we're sitting out on the stoop visiting, okay? And I don't know what happened. She had on a pair of shoes, which is very rare for either of them girls to wear shoes. But she had on a pair of shoes, and they were like the Tiva sandals where it goes around your ankle and has a little strap across the toe area. Well, I don't know if the shoe did it or if she did it. I don't know what happened, but she looked down and started kind of whimpering and saying, "I'm bleeding." And I looked down. Okay, so like I said, blood doesn't bother me. I can handle blood, okay? I know what to do to stop blood. No problem whatsoever. But half of that SCAB, I don't even like saying the word, was hanging like, oh, and it wasn't like bleeding, you know, like it wasn't running, bleeding, but you know, blood was coming, and I panicked, and I was like, she said, "Do you have a Band-Aid?" And I was like, no, you got to go home. I turned into my mother. And then afterwards, I was like, I did the same thing my mother did. Now, granted, she wasn't bleeding to the point that we needed to stop the blood, okay? Did I feel bad? Yes, I did. But that SCAB, I couldn't. I was like, I can't deal with this. I don't know. I don't know how I ever dealt with my nephew when he got hurt. But I did, because he fell one time. He was riding his bike and he went to turn in the driveway, and I don't know what happened, but bike went that way, he went that way, and he skinned his legs up, you know, like we all did as kids. My mother came in the house screaming that he had broken his legs, both of them. He's broken his legs. And I had worked a 12-hour shift the night before, 6P to 6A, okay? And I was napping on the couch because that would have been my last day. I didn't have to go back to work that night. So I would just kind of take little naps because I wanted to get back on a regular sleep schedule, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, I get up and go taking off, running down the driveway to him to check on these two broken legs. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I just scraped up my legs." And I looked at my mother and I said, "Is anything hurting real bad?" And all of this happened within seconds, right? I mean, she came in screaming and I was down the driveway. I'm a very good first responder, okay, because I'm fast. And he goes, "No, nothing's hurting." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to help you up. And if you feel any pain in your legs, you let me know, okay?" Because I'm still thinking broken leg. But he was probably 8 or 9. So, you know, he wasn't like me as an 8 or 9-year-old that I could just whip up and run. He was a bigger, 8 or 9-year-old. So I couldn't just pick him up and run with him at that point. And I stood him up and I said, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah." And we walked back in the house and I doctored his boo-boos, okay? But those were kind of pre-SCAB, and then after, a day or two, I sent him home, and his mom had to deal with the SCABs, because I can't deal with them. That's my kryptonite, I guess you would say, as a SCAB, especially a big one. I only really got sick twice working in the jail, and I don't mean I literally got sick, but one guy came in, and he had been in a motorcycle accident, and his first layer of skin was gone, okay? And he had been to the hospital, and he had been treated, and he had been released, and they brought him to jail, and I booked him in, and they fingerprinted him while his family was upstairs writing the bond. So he was a very quick walk through because of, disease. We didn't want him to get anything because of his open wounds, because they didn't wrap them, because they need air to dry. So that kind of made me all weird. And then the other time is a really gross story, but this homeless guy came in, and he had been drinking a lot. And back in the day, they used to buy Listerine to drink. And I don't know if he'd been drinking Listerine. I just wanted to mention that part because I can't imagine. But anyway, he had thrown up, and he had a really long Duck Dynasty type beard, and all that had dried and he was standing there trying to stand up, but his head came forward, and there was this big wire mesh steel. It was actually steel. Wall type thing between us. And when his head hit that, dried stuff went all over my countertop. And I literally got up and ran screaming from the room. I said, after y'all clean that up, I'll be back, okay? There's just certain things that I can't handle, and that's one of them, okay? There's just certain things, and those were my two things. Of all the people I booked in and all the things that I had to deal with, those were the two that pushed me over the edge. Now, the one with the colostomy bag that had leaked all over him, that was pretty bad too, but it still wasn't as bad as those other two for me. No. Anyway, that was a lovely ending to a lovely video, wasn't it? Let's talk about SCABs and sending children home in need. I still feel a little bad that I sent her home, but I wasn't going to touch it. Well, then she gets home. She just now told me when she got home. I said, did your mama doctor it? And Naomi said, no, she wouldn't let her touch it. And I was like, well, then I'm glad I didn't even try. She said she was screaming and hollering that everything was going to burn. And I said, girl, when I was growing up, we had something called mercurochrome. And Mama just poured that on there, and it was the color of blood, and it burned like Satan himself. And then we went on about our days. Neosporin, polysporin, it doesn't burn. Hydrogen peroxide, it don't burn. Not like that stuff. But anyway, she's fine today. So, and that SCAB is laid back down. So, and she's barefooted. So, yeah, don't put a shoe across that. Anyway, I'm going to insert a little bitty video of my white hydrangea bush, because Twyla told me yesterday that she's never seen a white hydrangea bush. So I'm going to insert that, and then, as long as a snake doesn't creep out, someone suggested it's too close to the heating and air, and that I need to cut it or move it, and that's not going to happen, because my heating and air guy is like, it's fine, because it can still breathe, okay? So, but look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? I was given this when my mother passed away, and I mean to tell, I almost fell over. I mean to tell you, it just, hold on, let me step over these hostas. I mean to tell you, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. I hope he's coming back soon because people be crazy. And I'll talk to you on the next Tracy Tries. The good Lord only knows when that will be. Tonight, tomorrow, we don't know. Just whenever the mood strikes, okay? Stay silly, my friends. Toodles, my noodles, and stay silly, my friends. And remember to smile, because smiling just makes you happier, okay? You can't smile and be in a bad mood. Okay, bye.